originally. And the categories will include customers, apostles, offline affiliates, online affiliates, investors, and academics. Now, I would like to focus the attention on the three categories: customers, apostles, and offline affiliates. So every single customer, when they buy the box, they generate 250 points per day. Okay. Until December 31st, 2019. We might actually extend that date if we did not distribute too many coins, because we want to make sure that, you know, everybody's happy. So therefore, say from now up until the end of the year, that's 6 months left. So that's 6 months times 30. So that's 180 days. Multiply that by 250 tokens. So that turns into what? I do not know. Let me see. It will turn into something, something big. 250 multiplied by 180. So that's turned into 45,000. So 45,000 tokens for each box bought. Now, $45,000 tokens. If everything goes by the plan, each token is $1. So therefore, the person who buys the box today gets $45,000 for each box bought. So that's something to consider, because again, one token will, well, that's the expectation, will cost $1 at some point of time. So now, it's important. Another thing that is important is once the entire supply after customers is 50 million coins or points, that number will turn into 75 million points. So therefore, that number 45,000, it will increase by 1.5. So it will be equal to 67,500 for each box. So that also to be kept in mind. So obviously the people who joined earlier are the ones who will profit the most, because they generated more tokens, more points, more coins. And the reason why it was created like this is because we needed to clearly incentivize early members to join. I mean, that's totally normal. So guys like Charlie, for example, Charles, who is here, who's a leader, who's the icon of the group. I mean, well, I'm not going to disclose how many tokens here I can't, but it's like he's one of the early adopters, and obviously he's going to fucking make a killing from this. Knock in the wood. So that's the first category, customers. Second category, apostles. So this one is very, very not tricky. This is a very important category, and this is probably the most subjective category. So the reason why it's kind of subjective is because you need to become a true apostle. So what is an apostle? Like if you think about the religion, apostle is somebody who converts. So you need to convert people, right? So we do have certain guidelines, potential, like, you know, moderate TG group, unproven lead, like blah, blah, blah. But this is really goes like beyond these descriptions. And in order for anybody to become an apostle, they have to become a really active member. But in order to become a member of an active member of the team, you first will have to become a believer. So the whole hierarchy goes like this. At first you're an outsider. You're just somebody who is an outsider, or you don't know what's going on. Then you become a believer. The only way for you to become a believer, if you try free trial first, you see if it works or not for you. If it does not work, you say, guys, it doesn't work. We didn't, not a single time we got this feedback, honestly speaking, but whatever, it might come up. Yet, I mean, you know, life is long. But the believer is only once you believe in this stuff, like only once you believe that, yes, this is, and you like, yes, like you, and the only way for you to believe is not like, hey, look, I just, you know, I believe. The only way for you to believe is to, you know, to try it. You're trying it, you're making money from it, and you're like, fuck, like probably it works, right? So that's how you start believing. And then you start talking to other people in the group and asking their opinions, because you have to be very critical and very, you know, and very, well, mostly not critical. You have to be just very skeptical about everything, especially in the crypto space. So we're giving this free trial so you can become, become a skeptic, and you can potentially, hopefully, remove your skepticism after trying it. So then you become a believer when you are believing in the project, and you start, okay, like I understand it. I think it can make money. For me, I actually made money already, you know, and then you buy the box, right? Then you become a believer. So now you just like basically prove to us and prove to yourself that you are a believer, because now you're spending some of your resources, just like everybody else in this community. Then after this, you become a leader. So leader is a believer who wants to convert people and on the path of becoming an apostle. Then after this, so apostle is a really important figure. We will only have 50 of those figures in the world, and those 50 people will split 50 million tokens. Each person will have 1 million tokens, million points, etc. So basically $1 million. And that apostle, like the apostles, are the ones who are like they are a 30, like they are 30 in the region where they're preaching. So it could be US, or it could be Latin America, it could be Russia, it could be Vietnam, Korea. Right now these are the five regions, but it could also be new regions. For example, right now we're talking to somebody from Thailand, we're talking to somebody from India, we're talking to somebody from Macedonia. We spoke before. We're talking to more people from Russia. So we talking to somebody. Well, we gotta be talking to somebody in China and Japan. I was supposed to really start those conversations, but just not too much, too many operational things. This week, for example, in Latin America, I spoke to a lot of people from Colombia and Chile, those two new countries, new regions. And if something works out there, I would like to connect those guys to our people in other parts of Latin America who are already, doing a great, tremendous job of spreading the word. I spoke to another guy from Latam 2 days ago for something unrelated. And I was, obviously, like, I want to sell him the boxes. He's one of those Latam hedge funds, and he's like, "Oh, Peter, you know what? Like, one of the groups I heard Ronin like the other day. That's because our Latin American partners are doing a great job. So they are really, really out there. They're really going to different TG groups and like trying to promote this thing. And they're not like spamming. I'm pretty sure they're just like, establishing those connections with the founders of the group and asking them, hey, you guys try it too. So I'm not sure exactly what they do, but they do something that that basically grew the whole population of Latin American group from 30 to 75 within 2 or 3 weeks. 75 members in the group. 75 members is not a lot, you would say, sure, but it was 30 2 weeks ago, and it's only gonna, it seems like, go up and up and up. So this is like apostle is a very important figure. It's a leader of thought. It's an authority. All the rights they have. You can ban, they can moderate, they're an apostle. Like, they are really, really fucking important people. So we can only have 50 in the world like this. And if you have 50 true apostles in the world, there's no way how this project is not $1 billion project. There's just no fucking way. And then you could become a saint. So the saint is the next level of apostle. So the apostle is a believer. He's a believer already. He's already a leader. He's already an apostle, and he's also a saint. Saint is the one who is not only converting, but he's also creating their own strategies. Like, for example, Charles, that stuff that I would like to send you, the tool, right, that will move you closer to the saint, right? Because you'll be hopefully creating your own strategies, and basically you'll be like an AI God machine, right? Like, you'll be helping AI God machine by creating more strategies for the public to use. So that's a saint. And then the final step that nobody can ever achieve is AI God machine, right? Nobody can ever achieve that. AI God machine is one and only. It's right after the saint. There's only one God in our religion. The reason why we call it God is because we really don't know how it works. We know some elements of how it works, but we don't know exactly how it works. And that's why we're saying God, because, who created this planet or who created this nature? Who knows? Some people would say, it's all could be explained by the Big Bang Theory. Okay, where's that Big Bang Theory from? For example, who created the Big Bang Theory? Who created the Big Bang? Who created that initial explosion? Whatever, right? So, long story short, there's always a question: what happened before? What happened before? So the easy explanation that ancient people said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna think about it too much. We just say it's God." And we're saying the same thing. We can try to figure out exactly how it works, but it's so hard to really know exactly how neural networks work that it's better just to call it God. So, long story short, that's the hierarchy. Now, the apostles in a very important category. It's only 50 of them, and each one gets you 1 million tokens. That's one. And B, you have to become a really fucking active group member. Not once a day, not twice a day. You have to become a moderator, potential create your own group. If you're in a different region, you have to moderate that and create that group and have to really convert people. So that's apostles. Third way that I would like to focus everybody's attention is the online offline affiliates. So offline affiliates, they also get 5%. So those are the people who helping us sell boxes. Typically, well, not typically, so far, all the online offline affiliates we have are also leaders simultaneously, but it's not going to be the case necessarily. We are also rethinking that because not all the leaders are believers, right? Unfortunately. So maybe I didn't do a good job originally to convert them into that. But if you just help us sell 100 boxes, you're not you're not a leader automatically. You're not. You have to really become a believer first and a leader in the like you have to go through this whole chain of operations before you can become a leader or apostle yourself. But what these people do, they help us sell boxes and they get something in return. So there are two ways how you can profit from this. The first way is if you help us sell the box, you get a cash back, say 15-20% or 10 to 15% of commission fees. That's the first way. Or the second way is you can profit from the selling the box by just generating points, tokens, coins, etc. The reason why I'm using the words points, by the way, today is because we are expanding to the US, so we're doing another 25 boxes here in the US. So I wanted to call it points, so there's no fucking confusion. In case some of you guys work at the SEC and and want to say, hey, these guys are doing unregistered security. No, we're not doing anything. It's like we're just gonna call it points. But in reality, these points are, will be converted to coins. So I'll just gonna use it points. And even the guide that we're writing for the coins right now, it's gonna have like that disclaimer about like, hey, this is just points for now, not a registered security. Just want to make sure everything is everything is complied upon. The reason why I'm expanding the US is this: our traffic is mostly from the US, 60 to 70% US traffic. And I am tired of telling all Americans, guys, you cannot buy it. I'm really tired of that. America is the greatest country when it comes down to financial education of its citizens, when it comes down to GDP per capita, right? I mean, Chinese GDP could be high, but the population is also very high, right? So if you do GDP per capita, it's really US. I mean, obviously there's some other countries like, in the Middle East that are bidding, or Singapore that are bidding US, but, they have very, very low population. So we're talking to a very affluent country that does protect, that has the necessary legal system to protect what you own. So therefore it's, it's very hard, for your assets to be frozen, if you piss some politician, because that's not how the system works here in the US. In other countries, it will work like that. If you piss somebody, then your assets are frozen. So it's a country with very high GDP per capita. People are much more financially educated compared to people in other countries. And there's a huge demand that we have specifically as part of this, like as far as this project goes, like tremendous demand. Now, I'm not saying it's 1 million people per month who is asking us about it, but 10 people per month is like 10-20 people per month is easy when I get asked. And you have to keep in mind that based on our statistics, we sell roughly 3 boxes, 2.5 to 3 boxes per person. And after the recent thing that happened, like after the recent sale we made this week and increased our total boxes to 65 sold, I think it's close to 3 per person, because that one person bought like a lot of boxes right away. So it's closer to 3 boxes per person right now. So imagine 10-20 people from America who's asking us about this box per month, and let's say of them 1 or 2 convert. That's 6 sales per month right there, right? Because say 2 people convert, they on average buy 3 boxes. So it's easier. Also, the average in the US is obviously higher for how many people buy boxes per person. So it's not even 3. I think it's actually close to 5. So long story short, if we do not tell Americans not to buy it, I mean, we have a huge market, and we have a huge demand too, and we offer a great product. So anyway, so the offline affiliates at 5% will also be split between people who help us sell boxes. So they either can get cashbacks, no tokens, or points, or they can get just the points. Each box you sell, you get 100,000 points. For example, let me make an example of Charles, since he's here. Charles helped us sell, at least one box. I'm not gonna sell the number. So he basically would generate 100,000 points for each box sold. Now, this is all cool stuff. Most importantly is that theory of ours in terms of these tokens, blah blah. We've been running this for a long time now, for almost 6 months, for 5 months, 6 months probably. And then we decided to do this coin step, and this coin step is something that I truly like. I cannot get my hand around how cool this tab is. Like, it's a really cool tab. You have everything here live, so you would go here, for example, black box, and you would be able to see. So the only thing that is not finished here is the guide. Like, so far it leads to the 404. Like, when I click here to learn more, it leads to the 404, right? Because we didn't write the guide. Oh, yeah, the internet is a little bit slow. We didn't write the guide, so the guide is in process. Is in progress. It's not even loading. Whatever. Well, it's gonna be 404. So we're gonna finish this up, and that tab is completely finished. But it's already functional. It's already working. You can already rely on this. Yeah, page not found. So here, the beautiful thing is you have the overview for how much each category has as a goal. And then that goal, like for example, for black box, when the 50 million is reached, that 50 million increases to 75 million. For apostles, it's 50 million, right? For offline affiliates, when together right now, well, let's do offline affiliates. Together right now, they have 3.5 million. So if that reaches 50 million, they also that number will also get increased to 75 million. Right? Investors, academia, those two categories will likely go. So we'll probably remove them, and we'll probably substitute these categories with online and offline affiliates. We'll just allocate more towards online and offline affiliates. Now, the cool thing is that, for example, the black box AI here, you can scroll and see how many people, and like you don't know who these people are. But if you click on the link, for example, Believe in US, boom, you can, like, who this is, right? This is the person. I know who this is. Like, if it's not going to say the name, then I'm not going to say the name out. But I know exactly who this person is. So all these people allowed us to use their, Telegram accounts under these links. So whatever, it's loading. So this person, Master of None, right? Mr. J, for example. So he is our believer. So you can reach out to him and ask him, listen, like, what are you getting out of Ronin? Like, what is this Ronin all about? We have how many members? We have 188 members right now. Like, say 190. Let's just round this up. Yeah. So one of the 190 members, I think only 4 people are part of our immediate like full-time team, or whatever you're gonna call it, right? So it's Max, it's myself, it's our marketing person, Art, actually 5, Art, Helder, this new guy, and Alexis. So there are 5 people total. Everybody else is not. Now, who is participating from the founding team? Mostly myself. Helder sometimes would do something. That's it. Like 1.5 people from the team participants. Everybody else is users. Everybody else is the community. So we are like, this is how it happened. The community helps fund the project that we suggested, and then we realize that project. Obviously, that's not how we would like this to be positioned, but that's kind of how it is. So the community funds it, and we realize it for the community, obviously. So therefore, each person of the community is incentivized for the community to grow, etc., etc. So feel free, if you have any questions, to just click on any of these links. Like like that person was a believer, but for example, we have believe in the US, right? But we have like believe in Russia, right? You can click on that. Yeah. Oh, it opens a new tab. Perfect. Brilliant. Yeah. Book. You can talk to this Sir Pavel. You can ask him questions, right? You can go and click on, say, leader in Russia as well. For example, I'm just saying, who is that person? So leader in Russia, that person, for example, right? AKA ISL. You can talk to this. So you can ask any of these people questions, because they're not part of our team. Like they're not part of the development team. They're not part of the, like, whatever you call it. Like, I don't even know how to differentiate it, because frankly speaking, people with those links are more part of our team sometimes than even our marketing team. I just to put it out there. Like these guys who are participants know more about the project than our marketing team that does. That's very unfortunate because our marketing team is really fucking stubborn and they think they know it all. So that's why we're not listening to them anymore. You could just be just basically saying fuck that. We're just basically for the most part just doing this with our development team. Marketing team definitely helps, but you know. So long story short, and you can see each person will see, you know, how many tokens they have, etc. So it's all transparent. Now, unfortunately, this is centrally controlled right now. So we control the tokens, etc. That's very unfortunate. That's why we would like to move to the blockchain, native blockchain aspect as soon as possible, so that it's not automatically, it's automatically, you know, controlled by the consensus from then on. Because right now we are centrally controlling it. We would like for that to be controlled in a decentralized fashion. So that's kind of the cool thing that you can have here. You can see exactly who these members are. For the online offline affiliates, it's going to be the same exact table. Thing is this: we did generate some codes, and we just playing around with the codes. The devs are finishing some slight things that need to be finished on the back end. Be 99.99% complete. We've been complete with this aspect for a month almost. It's just that we were busy with the database, if you guys remember. Then we were busy with still busy with the box. So the box is the guys are compiling the software for me for the box. Well, I think yesterday, today. So tomorrow I'll be testing it. Monday I'll be testing it. And what the plan for the box is, we're probably gonna send one box to Charles, to yourself. We're gonna send one box to Joel. We're gonna send one box to Dax. Who's my friend from China, or Chinese, well, who is here, but he's Chinese originally. He's a trader, and I would like him to also test it because he has some ties in China. And Paul, the person from Korea. So the 4 testers that will happen will, I think, be myself, Charles, Joel, and Dax. Because we're all in the US and we all have access to Coinbase Pro. Paul from Korea, he might not have access to Coinbase Pro, so he's going to be definitely helping us test HIT BTC and BQuant. And the BQuant will be tested by Paul from Korea, by our Russian partners, and by our Latin partners. So because they don't have access to Coinbase Pro, but they will have access to HIT BTC. So I think we're gonna start doing that. So I think we're gonna ship that one box or something, hopefully next week. The reason why one box, for example, because Joe bought more than one, was because we need to see first of all how one box operates to make sure that no bugs, etc. Because we're dealing with real money, so we don't want any fuck ups. And then after this, we're gonna send the rest. So it's there. It's basically there. There's some little bugs still, but we made an executive decision to basically say, fuck that. It's time for us to start sending the boxes. People are waiting for a long time now. Because once people have the box, they're going to be a lot more engaged. We understand that. It's also going to be a lot more problems for us. That's why we waited a little bit more to make sure that we minimize those problems, because it's easy to control what's really happening, what's wrong with the software, for example. And sometimes it's also hard. Like when somebody says, hey, you know, I don't know I cannot register to Telegram bot, for example. I mean, we kind of know what could go wrong. With the box, there's so many more variations of what could go wrong, to the point where that person might not be using the right electricity, the electrical charge, all right? Like that, like the charger. Because the charger might be, for example, less than 2.0 amperes, right, in terms of the electrical circuit. So maybe it's not enough voltage or whatever. Like all kinds of shit could really come up. Or maybe the electricity outlet that person is using is not, you know, powerful enough. Like, I don't fucking know. Like all kinds, like not even hardware related to our hardware, but just everything hardware, right? So anything can go wrong. And that's why we are very, very careful with sending. Because once we send the box, that's it. Like then, in order for the box to be sent back, that's extra $100 or $50 or whatever. And then it's a fucking headache. And everybody's pissed. So, I mean, we kind of, the reason why we learned that it could be an issue is because our developers finished everything. May 15th or even beginning of May was all finished, just like planned. But then I started using it on my computer. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, this doesn't work. So it's like lots of fucking bugs because I'm using Windows, these guys were using Unix. So it's like, because of that, we basically fucked this. Like the idea that we have in my biggest nightmare, we ship everything and something like some little bugs, I don't know, related to whatever, Mac software or fucking electrical circuits, like something. And then we have to get all these boxes back. Or worse off, we have to ask our people, hey guys, open up the boxes, and how about you unscrew everything, take out the SD card, and and do everything from scratch. I mean, that's the worst fucking thing that could happen. So I just don't want this to happen. Now, last comment, and that's it. So I think we covered the coins. Last comment is, lots of people are asking us why we're doing hardware as opposed to software. There are a bunch of reasons, security reasons, mostly. It's easier to turn that box into a node. We're really preparing for the blockchain. Otherwise, we would just do a software solution. But here's the thing that we need to keep in mind as a community. How many hardware projects do we know in the internet? Like in the internet, era. I mean, obviously, in this whole technology era, obviously, Apple and Microsoft. Oh, sorry, not Microsoft. Apple and Dell, right? For example, those two main ones. Then we have some sorts of HP and Samsung and Sony, and they're all big companies. We also have giants or ex-giants of Nokia and BlackBerry, and because it's phones as well, right? Like the phones, the technology, phones and computers and internet all together. We have some attempts from Amazon, right, with Alexa, which is like an actual device. But here's the thing. Everybody else is mostly doing software. But here's the thing. This is why they're doing software, because it's easy. And they understand that hardware is so much more fucking difficult. And the reason why it's more difficult, because it can give more problems, right? So it needs to be tested more. It needs to be made, it's just more problems potentially. You need to give all kinds of warranties, blah, blah, blah. But one thing to keep in mind is, if we are able to figure out exactly how to make this hardware product work, you know how many people will want to buy the product? A lot. You know how many people will be a node in the network? A lot. So you know how much your tokens will grow up in value because you have so many fucking new members? A lot.